is the Unconstitutional Awakening program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Brought to you by KD Consulting Redesign.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening. So this evening, Luis, Neptune, and Bandit are joining me and hosting a fella I found over on TikTok that seems to get banned as much as I do everywhere else as well. I know him as T-Rick over there, and I think in the time that I've been on TikTok, I have re-added him back as following back and forth 7 or 8 times now. It just keeps going. It's just, and I totally understand that. You guys know that my biggest favorite thing to do is to find those banned voices and give them an opportunity to speak, because that's what all this was about to begin with. Was sick of being banned, so we started our own thing. You can't ban us off social media if we got our own social media. So, of course, you guys, with that, you can go hang out at unconstitutionalawakening.com, where you can find all the links to where you can watch us at Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute, where you can listen to us at. Shoot, you can even listen to us on the show, or like right there on the website. And then, of course, I'm trying to start the UA Social, which is just a forum board you guys can post at will. Of course, there might be 1 or 2 things in the world I'm going to step in and stop you from posting, but that's just common sense knowledge, and we don't need any of that map crap over there. So that's aside from right. Aside from that, it's pretty much free game. I'm not going to ban you. Our buddy that was on last night, Steven, he's constantly on there posting memes, and that's kind of what it's about. We're all just finding different ways to connect and stuff. And you can also, while you're over there, you can find our merch store and get you some of this cool Unconstitutional Awakening merch like I got going on here tonight. I appreciate you guys for giving us a little bit of support and stuff like that, listen to us and watching us everywhere. And of course, you guys know I really appreciate it when you help us out a little bit and help my friends out over there at all the guys that we consider our sponsors that I like to give plugs to. I got my buddy over there, Kirk Elliott, phd.com/Jim Bob/ Kirk is a real good guy. He's anti-establishment, but he's also looking into helping you invest your money into good things. Like he's a good guy to talk to, man. And a friend of liberty is a friend of mine, and he wants you to invest in things like silver and gold instead of burying what you got in a treasure hole out back, like I would normally do. So you guys go just give him a talk and see what he can do to help you guys out. And of course, if you're into energy healing and candles and homemade soaps, then you can check out Peachy Key Creations. She's a Reiki master, of course, and she also has some fantastic soaps and candles and stuff that she can hook you guys up with. All you got to do is just reach out to her on there. If you use the code that we got over there on our website, you can get yourself a discount on what you got going on over there. And that's Peachy Key Creations. You can find her on Facebook. And our little buddy and awesome ammo can survival dude that he is, man. He's out there making first aid and survival stuff and plate carriers and ghillie suits, and he's back and ready to go and waiting for you guys to send him in some more orders, man. So y'all go over there and support that little dude and his up and coming young business. And of course, all you folks that are out there trying to keep your kids from getting indoctrinated by the state and looking for answers of what to do, you can come over here and check out my buddy Brett Pike at classicallearner.com and Homeschools Connected. He's got a lot going on with giving you guys different things that can help you with your curriculums, and curriculums just written out for you, as well as field trips and all kinds of cool stuff, man. Brett's a real good guy, and he's just looking out for the kids of the future, and that's something I appreciate, because again, a friend in liberty is a friend for me. So now I'm gonna hop around here for a second. Bandit, how you doing this evening, buddy?
Outstanding. Just good to be here.
I'm glad you're here, buddy. I missed you the past couple nights. I know you had a lot going on, but it's good to have you back. Neptune, how's it going out there on the road, good sir?
Busy, but I'm glad to be here. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you for joining us this evening, buddy. Luis, it's been a little while since I talked to you, buddy. I ain't talked to you since last night. I hope you're having a fantastic day up there.
Things are changing, hopefully.
Well, you sound more positive today than you did yesterday and the day before, so that's a plus to me. Now, Mr. T. Rick, is that what you like to be called, sir?
Yeah, T-Rex good.
All right. How are you this evening?
Doing great.
Fantabulous. Thank you for joining us this evening, man. Like like I said, I've seen you in and off of TikTok there for a while, and I always like seeing what you got to share because you've got some pretty strong thoughts on tyranny and the goings on in the world today and such like that. And like I made mention, you've been banned quite a few times, and you were kind of telling us a little bit about one of your bannings there before we even started up. So I guess if you wanted to just kind of continue with that, like, has it just been a constant mix of trolls and people reporting you, or have you occasionally said something that you were like, oh shit, that's what got me?
No, it's actually, I get surprised on TikTok at least. I used to stream on Facebook actually. During the elections, I got warned about being banned if I continue to post that content. So I said, all right, Facebook, you're not getting my time anymore. So I ended up leaving Facebook. But I went to TikTok. I've been on there for about 3 years. The first account that I mentioned earlier, I was just at a rally. Really wasn't even saying anything until trolls came in and I just wanted my moderators to ban everybody. So I still kind of do that when I go live. They have a poll feature now, so you can do like a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, if you hate, I'm a Trump supporter, so it is what it is. But I'll be like, if you hate Trump, push the cry face. I go hit the cry face. And my moderators have been told in our Discord, when I do that, you ban everybody that does the cry face, because those are the people that just report your page. So I try to get trolls just out of my realm. But now I think I've had about 20 accounts banned on TikTok.
Wow.
So I build them pretty quick though. I got permanently banned off a Clapper too, but I build accounts pretty quick.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I'm in the 20 something over there on Facebook. I've been through a lot of those purges and stuff, and that's kind of how I ended up on TikTok too. About 3 years ago, I got device banned, and my phone wasn't even allowed to download Facebook anymore. So I was just like, I got to find something else to hang out on, and I stumbled across TikTok, and I was like, it reminded me of a young YouTube when I come across it. Because it was just the Wild West, man. People were out there giving raw information, and it wasn't too bad. But between the issues when Trump went after it and even Biden going after it now, it just seems like, and them forcing Walmart to have a big share in the stake of TikTok, like it just seems to have gone full censorship since all of that. So like it's getting just as bad.
Want to mention something on that? So Oracle was just in a class action lawsuit. In this class action lawsuit against Oracle, they essentially declare that they are the #1 data broker in the world in relation to people's information. They have 5 billion people's information. They have a deadlier, better at managing information than everybody else is. So if you look at the background of that story, Trump was saying to put TikTok inside of Oracle.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
It was what Trump was actually doing. He was brokering a deal to absorb the American division of TikTok into the United States and separate it from ByteDance China. That's why he was saying, "Hey, the government wants to get a cut of that deal because we're facilitating a deal that normally would not exist."
But then here we go. People are getting banned for the silliest of nonsense, just like they do over there on Facebook and Twitter and everything else.
Exactly. And that's because the Biden administration has just taken this alternative swing of like, oh, we're going to censor everything. And you saw the recent reports that they were colluding directly with Facebook, which is a violation of Section 230. So it's not looking good for Facebook. For the metaverse, it's not looking good.
Go ahead, Bandit. Oh, I thought you were about to say something, Bandit.
Hold on
Okay.
1 second.
I mean, they have to censor, right?
Can you guys hear me at all?
I can hear you.
Yes, but you can raise your
okay.
gain. Raise your sensitivity, if anything. And
I've been playing
there.
with the,
there you go.
I've been playing with the that whole Facebook thing, colluding with the FBI prior to the election, suppressing
The Hunter Biden story.
the Hunter's story, and even the Ashley Biden's diary. Wasn't that it? Yeah.
Yes, Ashley Biden. I mean, it was kind of already, isn't it been officially confirmed that it was his diary?
Some of the pages.
What did he do? He took showers with her.
Took showers with her, and the other part of the diary mentioned they knew what Hunter was doing with the other family members.
Oh, that he was.
Some of the
what
pages
was he?
have even been released.
What wasn't he screwing? Okay, so his brother died, and then he was screwing his
dead
brother's
wife.
his widow. I mean,
So-
also, why was she doing?
Not to get off subject, but Zuckerberg admitted to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that was a weird ass
admitted.
move. Well, that was weird that he did that. I think he
Yeah.
wanted the attention for Meta, and he didn't
because
care
that
about
company
the
is
blowback.
tanking.
Well, I think
yes,
he's
he
also
did it for the VR. He did it to get the
Yeah.
VR attention for the new.
I think he's trying to take
upcoming headset.
the eyes off of everything is Facebook itself, and he's trying to put it. Well, this was the government doing it.
Yes,
You know,
well, it is.
and
It is partially the government
Yeah.
forcing him by no. Because so the way you got to look at it is Facebook is an extension of the government by
The
Intel.
NSA. Yeah.
So the
An extension
NSA
of
was
the NSA.
they were the first investors in Facebook,
Yes.
and they were also first investors in Google and Twitter.
Yeah.
So put your head in where like,
Mm.
what's the difference between an American mega corporation and a Chinese mega corporation? The Chinese mega corporation, the CCP controls it.
Yeah.
The American one, we have the illusion that we have stockholders and they are the ones controlling it.
Yep.
But in reality, behind the stockholders is the puppeteers of the government, the same
Because
people
where do
that the
you
CCP
think-
are.
Where do you think Zuckerberg got the funding for this for Facebook? He got it from the fucking government.
Yes, the
There's
first
no
5 million.
there's-
The first
yeah.
5 million came from Incutel.
There was no way a Harvard dropout was going to get a. That's the illusion about any mega corporation in the
He
United
was
States.
well connected, though. His family was well connected. He went to a school that cost $50,000 a year before Harvard.
You can.
So he
go ahead
didn't
and
need
say that.
Harvard.
You can go ahead and say that, but you have to have with those connections. You have to have seed money, and
Mhm.
he got this. You have to have startup money, seed money, to start that company. That's where people like here in the United States get this whole illusion of if I just work hard and start a company, I'll become a billionaire. No, the fuck you won't. No, you won't.
Not if you
If
don't
you
play
look
the
at-
game.
Not without government collusion.
Yeah, you have to have government collusion, and you have to be connected, and you have to be well funded. Look, every billionaire you can look at, you can't go. None of them are self-made billionaires. None
No,
of
a few of them are. But
What about Phil Knight?
Tell me one.
Phil Knight, Nike. What do you got dirt on him?
It's not dirt. It's not dirt. It's being well funded and well connected at the very beginning.
Yeah, but I mean, dirt is in. I don't mean necessarily like wholly like nefarious to that aspect. I just mean in the sense of
Founder
like
of Papa
government funding.
John's. Founder of Papa John's.
He's not a
What
billionaire.
was he before he became a billionaire?
He's not a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a
worth
billionaire.
he's worth a few $100 million.
Well, he probably was a billionaire a few years ago, but point being,
Like
he's
shot that
extremely
rhino or
rich.
some shit, right?
He's extremely rich.
I've met the dude, and he's a straight up. He'll be dead in a few years from alcoholism.
Mm.
All
Yeah.
the main powerful billionaires out there. If you look at Warren Buffett, his dad was his father was a wealthy, super powerful congressman. Bill Gates, his mother sat on the board for I can't remember, and got him a shot and money right off the bat. You got Zuckerberg. The same way with Amazon, Jeff Bezos and Elon
Jeff
Musk.
Bezos got a $300,000 loan from his parents, and Trump got $1 million loan from his daddy.
Yeah,
Like that's some
Hey.
seed money right there.
they're all
Jim, can you look
connected.
up Bezos investing in fusion technology?
Yes,
I
he's
don't remember
invested in
that.
a Canadian company. He is. He's invested in the Canadian company that has this rods coming out of it.
Yeah, I have it as my
Interesting.
screensaver. I got the little fusion plant on the background. That was pretty cool. And it's kind of funny because think of all those razors, fusion technology. You know, that shit was just a battery, but they're warming us up for some kind of technology. You know, the new fusion blade.
No,
It's like a vibrating fucking razor.
I mean, that's more sales tactics than anything else.
Yeah.
It's look, did you see the new iWatch Ultra?
127 million into General Fusion.
General Fusion, yeah.
And
It's a Canadian company.
$1 energy fix for the planet. Yeah, right.
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not bad for these people to invest in alternative energy technologies. Let people do that. That's good. That's like the weird net positive.
Nuclear is the future.
Nuclear is the future. Nuclear energy and fusion
100%.
hopefully is the future. Nuclear is the future now, but
Yeah,
fusion
it needs
is like
to
the
be.
future later
what'd
because
they
we
say?
don't
China
keep it
built
stable.
China
They-
built that fusion
A stable
plant
thorium
10
supposedly.
10 times hotter than the center of the sun or something like that.
They're
They
experimenting with
probably
some weird
just kept a fusion reaction for a couple of seconds,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what
Well,
usually is happening. They're keeping
What
a
could
reaction for a few seconds.
What could possibly go wrong with that?
Well, you brought up how these elites are investing in, newer age technology. A lot of these people are aware of like how polluted the earth is, right? And that's why I'm not a big climate change person. I'm all about like, hey, we can find middle ground. We can agree that we pollute the water, we pollute the air, and we pollute the soil. I think no matter what political side you're on, we can all agree on that, right? So how are we going to fix that? I think the elites know that that's the issue, and I think they have a plan for the future of like, growing food more efficiently, being healthier, more sustainable, better energy sources. They have that all planned out. They're still going to do it. I just think that their plan is to have that society, just not as many people in the world. And that's where you talk about the depopulation, like they have the plan of having a good, healthy earth. It's just that their plan is they can't really take care of every single person that's on the planet in their eyes, under this system or society. They'll keep a few, I guess, for, worker bees, but
Carbon taxes, baby. Carbon
on the
taxes.
earth. Bezos already said
what is it? Not
his
everybody
plan
can be
is
a
to
robot
ship
polisher.
everybody to space
Come
for production.
move us to Mars.
Please bring up the article, Jimmy. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Wait, which one?
No, Bezos wants to ship everybody into space, and the Earth will be like a vacation spot.
Well, what was that movie? Remember that movie where they're trying to escape Earth?
Elysium.
Yeah.
Elysium.
They got the med beds and everything.
What it's
and
going to be. But there'll be nobody on Earth. They're going to return Earth to a vacation spot, and only the super elite and wealthy will be left on Earth. Everybody else will be moved to like industrialized floating space stations.
Look, at the end of the day, none of that's good. Well, that's the Jetsons, people. Have you not seen the Jetsons and the Flintstones? I was literally speaking about that yesterday.
George Jetson was already born. He was
George Jetson was born this month.
Last month, August.
He wants to depopulate Earth with space colonies.
Yep.
I mean, at the end of the day, Jeff Bezos is going to be one of those people that you're going to see for the rest of your life.
Colonizer.
Until he dies in one of the rockets.
He looks like Martian Manhunter.
He looks like Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean. Have you seen his brother?
But not the Amazon version.
Look up Jeff Bezos' brother,
he looks
please.
Like the Wish version of Mr. Clean.
Looks like a Wish version of his own brother.
Are we talking about?
Look at his brother. Just look up Jeff Bezos' brother.
With his twin brother.
Jeff Bezos' brother looks like a ridiculously good-looking version of Jeff Bezos. Like, it's hilarious.
So, like the opposite of Vin Diesel with his brother.
What, Vin Diesel's brother is good-looking?
No, Vin Diesel is the good-looking side of his brother.
Oh. Hey, well, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, look at that.
He looks like a stronger version. Like he would actually be the
he would be the one that everybody should be afraid of.
Yeah, he's the Lex Luthor we should be worried about.
He is the Lex Luthor everybody's afraid of. He does.
Is he older or younger than Jeff Bezos?
I don't know, but he's better looking.
Why do I get the feeling that Jeff was like a fucked up clone version of his brother that went mad science?
DNA splicing subject gone wrong.
Dude, well, what is it? I mean, his dad is not his dad. You know, his dad is not his dad. We don't know.
Yeah.
There's not. I don't know the story of because they didn't cover it.
Jeff is the older brother.
Well, look at the Musk. Look how fucked up the Musk family is.
Oh my God, that's just a
Elon
whole
Musk's
different.
dad-
That's a
Elon
can of
Musk's-
worms,
Yeah, his dad just had a daughter with his stepdaughter.
essentially.
Yeah.
That's a
some
bit much.
weird elitist ceremony.
Keep it in the
shit
family,
right there.
bro. Shit.
That's
Keep
some-
That is keeping it in the family. That's literally keeping it in the family. What are you talking about?
Man, that's some elitist.
That's what royalty
bullshit right
did.
there, man.
Well,
So how
I
can
was
you
just thinking
possibly
that.
look at these people and their extravagant lifestyles and wasteless spending and treating how they treat their workers and think that they have like
an agenda to save the world.
how do you think they like how do you why do you think they have our best interests in mind when you look at how they treat their own family?
I mean, they don't have
workers
they don't have the
and-
world's best interest. They have an economic interest.
I want to hear what Mr. Ricks has to say about this.
I mean, they don't. These people want you dead. They want you enslaved, and they don't give a shit how they're gonna do it. You know?
I think when you're in power, I mean, one of their nicknames for just regular average citizens are mouth breathers, right?
Mhm.
So
They stole that from
I
me.
think in their eyes, what they think is best for the world is the solution and the almighty fucking truth, right? So I don't think they definitely have our best interest, but I think they look at us like, you know, this, like we're almost like chimpanzees in their
A
eyes.
means to an end.
Yeah, well, and I think they
They can't replace us yet.
understand that for the
Yeah,
goals they
true.
want, the goals that they want, this ultimate plan that they want, they have to have us at least to fund the beginning of it, because we have to buy all their products to raise their money. We have to pay the taxes for them to take it from our government, right? So they need us to a certain degree, but there's at a point where, you know, the more AI they're investing in, robotics, microchips, all that stuff is it's going to replace humanity, you know,
Yep.
to a certain degree.
We won't
That's
tax
why, like,
cattle
I think
anymore.
Ted Cruz actually was one of the only politicians I heard bring this up. Was he was talking about you guys are worried about unemployment, but you're not even talking about technological unemployment, right? All these robots are replacing all these people. We're going to have a massive drop in jobs because now, like, go look at cars being made. They're made by robots.
Sure.
They used to employ a lot of people. Now everything's moving to robotics. So, and I think there's a really good video with Joe Rogan, right? And he's sitting in a limo and he's talking about aliens. Like if they came into our atmosphere and they saw Earth, he's like, I think they would see us as like the mold on a sandwich.
Mhm.
That's what we're doing. We're just destroying and consuming. And there's a part to where I can agree, but
And
I
then
also
they would
have
lock
faith
their
in
doors
humanity to
and fly
figure out
off.
like, huh?
They would lock their doors on their spaceship and fly off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're in. Well, I just don't. I see them using like the escape route of space if like nuclear wars or like some crazy disease broke out that they didn't cause, or maybe they did cause it and accidentally released it and it's worse than they thought. I see them using space as like their little escape route, but I don't think they like plan on living out in space. You know, I don't think that's their future. I think
They can't.
can't.
Because there is no
The-
technology to do
yeah.
that.
The
Yeah.
logistics behind staying in space for a year is like ludicrous.
Mhm.
Like, you
Well, I'm
have
very
to have
skeptical just about space all in general, because you
You have
see
to,
all these videos of them using green screens and shit, like
Yeah.
fucking floating bubbles and like throwing, like, bro, I'm just like, dude, you know, I don't really jump down that road too
It's
much
like
because
a
then it goes down some
50-50.
weird spirals. But
I think like 50 there's been people in space, but at the same time they're using the money what you think they're using the money to send people into space.
How many
and
times
keep
have they
people-
canceled Artemis in the past 2
Yeah,
weeks?
How many and like the money you think they're wasting on the International Space Station is just
Money
them here on
laundering.
Earth with cables
Money laundering.
floating people around while they're spending that money on something else. You know, it's like a 50-50 shot, you know?
That's
Yeah.
the creepy part. That's the creepiest part is like, what are they? I mean,
Have
yes,
you guys
we do
ever
have a
seen
space program
the
because we
Stanley
have satellites.
Kerbuck admitting on his deathbed that he faked it?
I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but
Well,
it is
who was
an interesting.
who was the astronaut when that little girl asked him a question?
Dude,
That
I had
was,
Bart Siebel, the guy that Buzz punched.
Buzz Aldrin. That was Buzz
Yeah,
Buzz
Aldrin.
we had
Aldrin.
him here.
I had Bart Siebel on this show, the guy that Buzz punched for asking him to swear on the
Mhm.
Bible that he went to space, and he fucking punched him out. I had
Buzz
that dude on
punched
the
him?
show. Dude was
There have been
wild.
cosmonauts that have said the same thing, man. It's not just Buzz Aldrin. There have been cosmonauts that have said the same thing about.
I mean, that
going
shit
into
looks fake
space.
as hell. And the fact that they don't even have equipment to play the video, or saying that we don't have technology to even go there, is just
They
like a wake up.
found
Like,
the
No.
videos. They just recently found a whole stack.
Remember in somebody's basement?
Videos in somebody's basement just recently.
It was the telemetry, dude. They found the fucking telemetry hidden in somebody's house.
so would they have to edit it more so they could hide all the fucked up shit they had in it?
So
We
this is
lost
the
it. I don't
thing.
know where it is.
This is the
Our
thing.
editing team get it.
The thing is, the way those things were recorded, if they was not properly kept, a portion of it is damaged for sure. It's not completely lost. No media. It's hard to destroy it unless you literally are just setting it on fire. But let's say I blow up a hard drive. Like, you blow up a hard drive, it's gonna be hard, but not impossible to extract data. But 9/11, when 9/11 happened, you know how many hard drives they extracted and found insider trading happening inside of the drives? They found collusion between different companies
So I found
on
it.
9/11.
The video of Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick.
So before I do jump into that, I did want to kind of reverse just a hair for a second. I do kind of like your theory of maybe in a sense culling, like they know what they're doing intentionally, blah, blah, blah. And I think the people that resisted falling for any of their, I've heard this theory before too. The people that resisted falling for any of their antics were the group that they expected to be the smarter group to move forward with humanity. Like, I've heard this before. You know, I mean, I'm still
We've
totally
discussed
anti-government. I
this
don't think they're
before,
looking
Jimmy.
out for our best interests. I don't. But I have seen where they were like, okay, they can test humanity to see which ones are completely stupid and will run out and do exactly what the TV and politicians say, or the ones that we know will make it and will be the human beings that can survive, can get to that self-sufficient, own energy making, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, with a smaller population on the earth. Because, you know, again, you can't crack a few eggs. You can't bake an omelet without cracking a few eggs, all that good stuff. So, yes, I could totally see all that.
Well, they 100% believe in survival of the fittest, you know,
We
and they
discussed
believe
this
that you
about
must
Darwin.
COVID.
Eugenics. Darwin and eugenics.
COVID.
That was. Did look up. Okay,
That's what I was talking about.
Jimmy,
We
look up
discussed this
the.
before.
If you want to show the actual title of the book.
Which
if
book?
you've seen it, of the book by the creator of Darwin's book. The original title has been altered by so the general public doesn't know the real title of the book in relation to the evolution.
The
Like,
Origin of
full title?
Species.
Yeah, but keep going. It's not just the origin of species. It's like the origin of species. Da, 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 da. If you see the original book, the title is very freaky. He is part of the founders of eugenics. Darwin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know he is. Yeah. By
The title
means of
says it
natural
all.
selection.
And there's
Or the preservation of favored races and the struggle of life. Wow.
There you go. That part.
So
Good
Jimmy
God.
and I have discussed this before, actually a few times on the show. Like, I think it's been a little bit of when that they used COVID to draw a line in the sand, and they wanted to know who is going to be like the followers and who are going to be the free thinkers. Like, they use that as a testing ground to find who is going to just follow along with absolutely anything we say. Those were, I mean, it was so obvious too that that's what they were doing with that. And then the people that kind of just stood back and go, wait a minute, man, we're not supposed to be doing this. Something's not right about this. Versus the people that said, okay, I'm going to go get 5 shots.
6.
Is it 6 now? In Canada, they said
we're at
every
7.
3 months. Every
We're
3
at
months.
7, bro. Forget
It's
6.
It's no. It's
We're
up
at
to
7.
every 3 months in Canada. I'm gonna carry around my card. I'm gonna advertise that I got the shot. I'm gonna wear my mask inside and outside. I'm going to disinfect my hands. I'm gonna do this daily, and I'm gonna virtual signal that I got my COVID shot. It was so obvious what they were doing, but people just were like, "No, they have our best interests in mind." And
I'm also going to create a new generation of parrots that can go around pretending that they're anti-government, putting on a banner on their Facebook page that says, "I have a healthy distrust for the government, but I'm vaccinated."
Yeah,
No,
that's
you're
exactly
full
what
of
it
shit.
is. That's exactly what you are, Luis. When I'm not saying you, but that's exactly what you are when you do that stuff. When you follow every edict that the government says like that, they know exactly what they're doing with that.
Well, yeah, I think a big part of it was exposing like everyone out of the woodworks who, like, doctors were ostracized, scientists were ostracized, you know?
Yeah.
But so there's a part of it that's exposure. Okay, these are the ones that are standing up against us. Okay, cool. We got our list, or we're just going to go after them right now. 2 is also a power grab. How much power can we grab off of this without them fighting back? And then 3 is also a money grab. You know, there was one of the biggest movements of money towards the upper, you know,
largest
elite
transfer of
class
wealth in human history.
Almost $2 trillion.
So
Yep.
they're pretty smart. Like, these people are smart. And I think like everything right now, here's the crazy thing. Okay. Because we ultimately started this off with censorship. Why would they censor if they got this in the bag?
That's a great question.
Why would they hide
Because they don't.
Biden's daughter's diary? And why would they hide Hunter Biden's laptop saying it could swing the vote if they had it in the bag?
Because they're not. I mean, they're afraid. There's a tipping. We're hitting the tipping points, right?
100%.
Every few months, things go so far into a direction that's going to reveal something very interesting for the collective, and then sometimes it gets revealed, but it still was pushed down enough, and enough news is propagated into the internet. So you look at when you search for something online, you notice that it's repeated and repeated so that nothing shows up. So that's another element, is they're manipulating reality by manipulating your search results.
Mhm.
That's a very
like movie
powerful
titles
tool.
for movie titles that are happen to be like real things and stuff.
Operation Fast and Furious. Look that up.
If it
Not
were
Fast and Furious, Operation Fast and Furious.
If it were impossible, their propaganda would be unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at China.
And like Luis,
China's ridiculous.
Things getting tipped back and forth until it goes back relatively stable. It's coming to a point they're so scared.
Going like this.
It is going to where it's going to lean so far to one side that it's going to completely just tip over on them. And it's coming to that, and everybody can feel the tension.
Left-wing totalitarianism, which is exactly what's coming.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
we get fascism from the left instead of the right. We get a new version of fascism. Fascism 2.0.
I don't think.
Well, the more they censor, the more attention they cause on it, because like, it doesn't matter if you like or dislike the guy, Andrew Tate, right? Dude was blowing up. He had a tactic on blowing his shit out, you know, to social media by having all these people post his stuff. But when he got banned, he had the most viewers on Rumble than he's ever had.
Yep.
So no matter what, when they censor,
an alpha male, you're not an alpha male.
Well, have you noticed they can't censor fast enough on TikTok?
Nope.
No, the thing is, Andrew Tate is an example, though, of, while yes, the guy says 1 or 2 interesting things, the guy is likely trafficking women and doing horrible shit.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he needs to. He's not an R. Kelly.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about. I don't know if you read like the reports of what happened. Is like there were people that were getting like the same thing that's happened in Saudi Arabia, story in Dubai. That
I've heard the made-up story that they tried to accuse him of, and then I've heard not only him but his brother and like even several of the females from the place and stuff coming up and stepping up for him and being like, "No, that's bullshit."
Well, you got to be careful because understand like a lot. Okay, so he gets banned,
Human
right? So
trafficking happens, dude.
I believe that.
Well, yeah,
It doesn't
100%.
happen.
Well, think
He's
about this.
likely using human trafficking more than we
But-
think.
Think about this though. What do they do to people who stand up against the government in the main narrative? They always pin like rape, sex charges, all this crazy shit. They always pin that shit on you. Nazi, racist. They pin all these things on you.
He's actually working in this shit. So it's not like, and he's said he has.
Well, what's crazy to me is that Andrew Tate was banned, right? And the media ran it because he's a misogynist. That's not why he was banned. The dude was out speaking against like COVID. He's like, COVID doesn't even exist for rich people. He goes, I went on a commercial plane and they're freaking out about masks. I'm in first class. They're freaking out about masks, right? He goes, I said, fuck this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So what he did is he went and got his private jet. And he's like, the stewardess, the pilot, nobody's wearing masks. Masks don't exist for rich people. COVID does not exist for rich people. I'm pretty sure when you see all these like high ups getting this vaccine on TV, that's a vitamin booster. I don't even or saline. They're not getting that fucking shot.
Did you not see
the fake
there
needles?
was a few videos.
The fake needles, yeah.
They don't push any needle, or there was one where the needle was still in the cap.
Yeah.
Well, they just push
They're
the
not
cap.
taking
Yeah,
that
I've seen
shit,
that.
man.
Well, they have
That
these
is-
retractable needles too, because I dug down that they have retractable needles, which helps
Yeah,
with some bullshit.
for movies.
Yeah, for accident. No, they have them because you get injected and then they push the thing on the side and it retracts the needle so you don't get an accidental stick in a hospital.
Yeah, they actually
Yeah.
have these needles, but
Those,
we see them with caps on. Like that's obviously not a retractable needle. But even if I think a lot of people were catching this because remember that girl that fainted and died, or she just fainted, right? We don't know if she died.
No, she didn't die.
passed
She didn't die. She passed out.
So she passed out. I know her Facebook went on private. Her husband's Facebook profile said he then turned it to single, right? If something like that ever happened, if something like that happens, you know, those people get silenced. Look, I mean, I don't want to jump down like major conspiracies, but I saw a video. The one video I saw with Sandy Hook was the dad laughing before he came out for his interview, took a couple deep breaths and started crying, right? That right there, I have 2 kids. And I was like, all right, that's just fishy to me. But in the hindsight, if the government ever did a false flag or anything crazy like that, those people are paid off. And if they say it's like an NDA, like they can't disclose anything that's happening. So if someone did die, they could easily go in and pay off a family member. They did this with fracking. You guys ever see that documentary Gasland?
They make Gasland too.
So Gasland came out. Remember those people in that video that were getting water from the companies? They were shipping them vats of water.
They were
told
shipping
them
them
you cannot
trailers full of water.
NDAs. And so it's like, okay, well, they'll pay you off and silence you 100%. So now it goes deeper into like the fucking elites doing this whole sell your soul bullshit where it's like you fucking die or lose a tongue or some fucking weird shit, or you get hung by a
Let me see if I can find
doorknob, you know, like, so there's like a different ways, different levels to how they threaten and coerce people into hiding their secrets and shit. And so that's where it's just hard, you know,
when
seeing all the stuff with NASA within government, like
I
just
come
wild.
from a place that is extremely corrupt, and I was just speaking to a Canadian that has never really experienced anything like what I've experienced in my life. And that really showed me, well, one, I come from a probably very violent place in comparison to what the Western idea of safe is. And two, that yeah, most people never even deal with the idea of shootings happening close to them, especially multiple shootings, let's say in a month. Like that's not something a lot of people experience unless you live in certain countries. And we're
Or you live
experiencing
in
that.
like Chicago or some shit.
I've been to
Or
those
you live in
countries.
Chirac.
I've been to those countries.
Did you hear that the immigrants did not want to go to Chicago? So they come to Texas.
Shit, yeah, dude.
And then they offer them rides to Chicago, and they're like, no,
Beetlejuice is on.
They don't wanna
Beetlejuice
go.
is on press conferences now, wondering what to do with the busloads of immigrants.
Have you guys seen this?
No, what's this? What is this? What is Hillary doing again?
Yeah. I don't have sound going. Y'all can keep talking while you're
Now,
doing
if
it. But
she would only, Marshall Applewhite.
She's not going to run for president. She just said it. She said it, I think yesterday. She's not running for president.
Was she seriously considering running?
No, she said she's not running. She is
Okay.
not running. Thank God.
Good.
Yo,
Sorry.
the next news network, bro. I haven't seen him forever.
This
Who is
all right,
that
so
one?
they're talking like they're aliens and shit. Like the lady with the horns was talking. The quality's real terrible. It's not very clear
Yeah,
either.
I can't even hear it exactly. Well, yeah. I don't know what they're making fun of, but
But like, she's dressed in like this space cult thing, and they're doing like they did this whole thing.
oh wait, that isn't like an astronaut. What the heck? It's not some weird stuff. It is kind of weird.
It's
What are they
fucking
doing?
weird.
That is a little
doing
weird.
weird
remind me
shit.
of that shit from
What's an
Idiocracy.
astronaut standing next to the ex senator, ex secretary of state, warmongering psychopath? What is an astronaut doing standing next to that woman wearing party? Like she's wearing something like she looks like gonna go to an eccentric party.
So is it Louis or Luis?
Whichever you like. That works.
What do you prefer?
Luis.
Luis?
It's just Luis works. Luis is
Okay,
like
so
more
fill me
expensive.
in.
Call me whatever you want.
I always tell the trolls because they'll ask me what pronouns I have. I'll be like, just call me daddy. Just call me daddy. It works. So I want to ask you, fill me in with kind of what happened yesterday, because you guys kind of touched upon it that you didn't think things are changing or something. What was your kind of conversation revolving around?
No, I mean, no, I don't think things are changing. I believe things are changing drastically. We're more discussing like what is the best option, like true anarchy or a replacement of the sword.
Voluntarism and such.
Yeah, and the thing is, the true future of humanity is more a decentralized future. So, but it's a need. You need to build still order to replace the damaged order. Centralization exists in order to create abundance for the masses. It's just how things operate because it's the scale of economies. If you don't build an economy to a certain scale, you cannot mass produce certain technologies. For us to, let's say a solar flare hits us tomorrow. For us to come back to start making chips again, it'll take us a very long time. And in the meantime, half the planet is going to be in the Stone Age. Well, back to medieval era, essentially, for a couple of years, and then the industrial age. But it's going to take a long time. And for us to get back to building those advanced microchips and getting all the supply chains in order and getting everything back in order, it's going to take a long time.
I don't see the bad side of that. I don't.
There's a lot of suffering when it comes into that realm.
Exactly. A lot of people are going to fucking die. And that's
But
horrific.
I don't think
that's
when you talk
unimaginable.
about
more than
it's
what's
gonna be-
dying right now. I
Yes,
mean,
exponentially more. We're talking like
it's-
70% of the Earth's population would die. Of the human population would die.
they're going to do it one way or another.
Well, I would say 70% of the people already live without the amenities that we depend on.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to do that one way or another.
I agree. I'll agree with you there, Rick.
Yeah, there's already people are like, people burn shit like cow patties and fucking tires,
Look,
already, so
the people of Africa are not going to take any of this shit.
well,
They've been raising up faster than the entire world ever expected. And they're not going to they weren't taking that shit.
Nigeria is one of the fastest growing economies on the planet. Is it Nigeria?
Many African countries are growing insanely fast.
because they got China investing in them right now.
It's not only because of China. It's just because they're getting their shit together and they're being less corrupt. It's really what it comes down to is that
They're not wiping out villages.
Yes, exactly. They're not going into a Rwandan so genocide territories where 3 million people were freaking killed.
It was
Yeah, something crazy.
500,000 to 1 million by machete alone.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And that's the problem, is that people don't understand that the reason you have established order is to prevent that from continuing to happen internally.
Well, you got to think too.
Like weapons and violence are required for control. That's the sad problem of the situation.
Well, think too. It also depends. Like, let's say a crash happens. It depends on the state of mind and the evolutionary process, right? So if you go to like a third world country, they're going to be like crazier, more atrocities will take place if shit ever hit the fan, compared to a society that knows what good is. There's still going to be bad people that do bad things, but it's not going to be as broad of a scale. You know what I'm
I would
saying?
rephrase it. They
As
know.
somebody who's
They
been-
also know what good is. It's
as
just.
somebody who has been to
But their normal is different. So some things could be deemed
You could argue
normal
that,
for them
but their
that we would
normal
look
is
at and be like,
different.
all right, that's wrong.
Yes, that I agree with you on that. But saying that they don't
So
know what the concept of good is.
When you talk, I don't mean necessarily like they don't know what good is. We just have a different understanding of what good is compared to some places, especially just in more, third world countries kind of status. But when I want to jump back to like, if like a solar flare actually hit. So I would say that we've had knockdowns in civilization that have brought us back into different ages, right? Throughout our history and past. And I believe where we're at now, by how things have progressed so fast, I think if something were to happen like that, it wouldn't take nearly as long as those past, knockdowns. We would actually step back pretty quick. I think.
Yes, I agree with you. In a few decades, we would be back to 20th century technology.
Well, because you got to think everything's pretty much here. It just fries a lot of shit. So to rebuild stuff, the people are already here. The resources are already here.
It's the data access loss. That's fundamentally the biggest problem. When you lose access.
Well, and that's why you talk about decentralization.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
right?
What I mean. Is like the future is decentralized.
Yeah, 100.
And the thing is, the technologies are coming very fast. So I feel that we're going to get to a point very soon where that super reset won't actually happen. And that's a very high positive. I mean, the world was hit with a solar flare that would have destroyed everything in the 1800s. It was called
it's like the massive storm or whatever.
Carrington event. Yes.
We almost got hit.
I think a lot of people died in Canada from that, right?
We missed it by 9 days.
Or no, that's not the 1800 one. There was one recently where it affected Canada really bad.
Yes, there was. Yes, it was just say 2000 what for the Canadian one? Yes, the power went out in Canada.
Yep, 2012.
September 1st, 1859, is when the event happened.
When they lose their Morse code?
The lines for Morse code were on fire.
Woo! That'd have been a fucking hell of a sparkler night.
Oh shit! Have you ever seen when the power grid gets exact? Have you guys seen that footage from New York when the power grid was overloaded by the storm and the sky was it blue?
Yeah. So, a lot of that is your transformers or your substations will catch fire.
It was the substation for the power plant.
Yeah.
Itself.
So that substations are crazy. My dad works for the power company here in the state of Oregon. So he's told me a lot of crazy stories, showed me some interesting videos. He actually, so at the time I was installing solar panels, I used to install solar panels for a USDA farm. I did hydro, wind, and solar. While this guy was a millionaire speaking out against Monsanto, he'd go to all the fucking rallies. It's pretty cool. It's a cool ass location I was at. And at that time, here in Oregon, we had, I think it was Sanyo, and then it switched over to Panasonic, and they grew the crystals here for solar panels, right? So my buddy worked at the crystal,
the crystal silica.
Yeah, they do they cut wafers or something. They grow the crystals here. It takes a lot of energy. That facility had its own substation. It had its own substation, and my dad fucking hated it. He's like, they use so much fucking power, blah 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 blah. He would freak out about
enough supply for the substation.
Huh?
They basically did not have enough actual transformers for the amount of power they were drawing constantly. They didn't overbuild it.
Just the amount of power that was taken up just growing crystals. And that's one thing that people don't really understand. Like, I wanted to work on wind turbines when I got out of high school. That was like my thing. I wanted to be the guy that climbed the fucking wind turbines way up, right? And so when I got into this industry, I started doing a lot of research about how much energy is put in to wind turbines, solar panels. And I realized
you almost never get it out. You never get it out.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the beginning stages too of solar panels, they didn't last that long. You're talking about a few years until your cells start breaking, right? Or corroding.
They start breaking anyway. The thing is, you have to maintain the thing is that systems are guaranteed to 25 years usually, but it doesn't mean it's going to last 25 years.
Well, I've been trying to find this video. I had this video from a long time ago. A friend sent me, I'm talking 10 years ago. And it was a guy that created a solar panel, but what he did is he injected coolant in it. So it was cold as fuck. So anything that touched that solar panel that was warmer than negative whatever degree that coolant was at created power. So if it was a cloudy, rainy day, if it was even snowing, it was warmer than what the coolant was inside. And apparently, like, this whole video is about him getting his patents got taken. He got thrown in jail. It was like this big fucking story, and he was suing back. I've been trying to find that. They've been scrubbing, bro. Okay, I had a YouTube channel, not my own YouTube, just like a login, right? So years ago, I used to save all these videos. I finally got into it, and I'm like, oh, dude, all my like future watched saved videos, I'm gonna go through there, dude. So many of them are not available.
Delete.
Oh, they're all not available. I'm like, what the fuck? So they're literally clearing house right now. And then even on top of that, if you search like some of the controversial videos that I've posted, right? You go to YouTube, use your app, and you just search the exact title, because I can recall it. I have a pretty good memory when it comes into a topic and what documentary it was in. Like I have a pretty good memory of my resources or my sources, right? So you can go to YouTube and you'll search the exact title. It won't pop up. I'll have to go to DuckDuckGo, search that title, and then click videos, and then the YouTube video will pop up first in line. I have to do that so often because it's just buried. You know?
And this is the thing. Now YouTube today's a lot of creators were actually attacking it. Directly saying like, look, you have a very weird and sometimes racist policy against certain users, and you don't communicate with anybody. You basically later AI control the moderation. It's not AI.
It's a glitch. Sorry.
It's tens of thousands of human beings. There is no AI for half this shit. It's human beings. Like, how do you think Facebook gets scrubbed? It's human beings in Florida. Didn't you hear about the Florida facility that was the moderation facility in Florida that was a third party hire? A person died inside of the office and people kept working. And that was a Facebook moderation facility, and people are traumatized over there. The shit they see in Facebook.
Well, TikTok is horrible. Did you hear about the whistleblower that came out about TikTok? Ex-moderator?
Yes.
No, I heard about the data leak from Microsoft that they were like, yo, there's a day one exploit where they can just extract all your fucking user data. Microsoft extracted all their user data.
You can look up on YouTube how to extract data off of TikTok. I can pull people's emails, whatever you signed up on your account with. I can extract that off of TikTok.
That's still working?
Followers list. I can pull every name, every phone number, and every email, whatever you signed up with, through someone's followers list. I could do it to anyone, right?
Yeah.
So, but when I was, it's the whistleblower. So there's two whistleblowers. If you go on YouTube and look up TikTok whistleblower, that girl is on there. She came out and talked about like people at TikTok have free roam, the moderators, but they do use third party like fact checkers or community guidelines, whatever the fuck, right? So they have the third party, but people at TikTok have free roam, and they can hold personal vendettas against creators and just keep banning them, right? Just pull your account. Then there's another girl that came out, and the reason why I saw her is because I forgot this girl's name on TikTok, but she had like 1 million followers, and she hasn't been posting for a while. And she told people she was working on this big project, and what she was exposing is like the child, the CP stuff that's on TikTok, right?
There's there's somewhat child stuff in TikTok that I found through stuff. I was like, why is this all children now? Like, I'm like, this is just children. Like, I'm like,
yeah, I mean, there's some
like, this
weird...
is creepy. After you see the surface post, it's all kids from there. It's all kids, like all kids. And I'm like, no, this is stupid.
Well, they were slanging CP. So actual photos and shit through websites, through links in bios of apps. And that's how they were getting money transferred through TikTok. It was like some fucking crazy shit. And TikTok was being accused of protecting these people. That you know Lundini, right? Big Lundini on TikTok.
No.
He wears the mask. He was famous. He's been all over the news. He's like the hacker guy, the anonymous mask guy. He got big on TikTok because he created a system, a software that could scan profiles, and he got like fucking 4,000 accounts banned for CP shit. That's how he got big.
And the thing
I do remember that. Yes.
If a user can do that, that means they can do that.
So this girl came out, she had 1 million followers, and she said, hey, I've been working on this big project. We're exposing a lot of shit with TikTok, and it was a huge thing. It's like in the hands of the government, right? So I saw who she said, I've been working with this ex-moderator for TikTok. Well, that girl tagged her video. So I was like, okay. So I found her Instagram and I hit her up privately and I asked her a whole bunch of questions about how they censor on TikTok. And she talked about she was working with the third party is what she was hired through. But then she was saying, yeah, TikTok has free roam. They can do whatever. They can hold personal vendettas. It's very biased. Me personally, what I've noticed, if I get flagged, I appeal my video early in the morning. I think it's because conservatives don't do night shift because they have a fucking life and don't want to do night shift shit. So all the liberals are in the middle of the night because every time I appeal a video midday or later, the shit gets flagged. It gets taken down. If I appeal in the morning, it literally almost 90% of the time, I'm fucking getting my video back.
That is an interesting observation you made. That
well, I had a
has
video.
Some real reasoning behind it. It could be that, or it could be just a different moderator group, not associated with even our politics. Could be have a different bias set. That is also.
Well, she did state that it depends on the person's biasy on politics of how your videos are going to get flagged. So, like today, for instance, right? I had a video. I was at work, right? So I had a video flagged. That was a doctor talking about how they're transferring motor activity, information. They can connect two brains together. They're testing it in animals, and they were starting to test it with humans, where they can test or send information through minds, right? That's ultimately what it was. That's it. My video got flagged for integrity and authenticity.
That's real. That was started like a year
yeah. They got
ago.
the monkey with the joystick and shit, like all kinds of crazy stuff, right?
No. I mean, they
Musk
they've
did
been
that
able
with his
to make
Neuralink and killed off like all of his monkey subjects.
Oh yeah, did you hear that? All the test subjects died.
Yeah, all
That's
of them.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, so here's what's weird.
Brain issues. Poor things.
I appeal it. I appeal this video. It comes back. Not integrity and authenticity. It comes back with racial slurs against protected groups. I'm like, bro, I'm talking about DNA and fucking transferring information through minds. Like, what? Like, this is ridiculous.
That's real science. I'm going to try to.
Well, and I've had these weird instances where, like, the video trends. I'm sure you've heard that video, the sound that goes, my pronouns are he because I'll never be him. Right? You've heard that big trend. So I did it where I'm standing there in front of the mirror and it transitions into Trump with a crown on, right? It's something stupid, right? They flagged it for that same thing, racial slurs against protected groups. That's what I lost my appeal on. I had to message them, file a report and say, what is this? I didn't say anything. And this is a sound that has thousands of videos. It's a trend. Can you guys fix this? They reinstated my video without even telling me. I
know you've seen my Hitler Still Alive video that I made that's been going around. Maybe not. But I actually had to post it twice because the first time I posted it instantly got taken down for the exact same thing. And I was like, oops, stupid me. I forgot to put a censored bar over Hitler's face because, apparently I was right and that is Hitler. And without my censor bar, they were like, you can't show that. So because Hitler escaped to Argentina.
Yeah. Well, they have a whole. Oh, you saw that shit with Joe Rogan.
That video got flagged.
The first time it got immediately removed.
So that's AI that picked it up. Before it gets any views or any likes, that's AI that detects.
Because you said a keyword.
Hitler. I didn't say, but I never used his name. I promise you, it was the picture of Hitler.
They do photo. Yeah. They have an AI that can do like that. You know how you can search a photo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever that's called. I forgot the term of it is.
Oh, there's an actual system that system is also used for finding child porn.
There you go.
There's a database.
It's called PIMI. It works through some PI systems. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
I also, Jimmy, I sent you the actual
Go
science on what he just said. Because there's like nothing controversial about what you just said. Ryan's communicating.
The rat's communicating mind to mind.
Yeah, like there's nothing weird you said there. It's not controversial. It is completely science-based. And
that shows you either the AI is fucked up or that's some major biasy where they're just flagging videos.
That's probably some weird bias. That's from 2013, by the way.
Well, so there's a point system too with TikTok violations. This is what you'll notice when you don't get an appeal on your ban. You don't get that appeal option. It's because you racked up so many points. Every violation has a different point system. So like whatever that radical dangerous individuals, that's a high point system. child endangerment, that flag is a huge thing. That's a big point. So when you get to these certain, this is what the moderator is telling me. Once you get all these points, you won't get that appeal button.
So you just hit the system so many times that you lose the ability.
Well, I've had accounts that get a lot of flags. I'm talking like, because I post a lot of videos. I'll post 10 videos in a day easily, right? So, but when I'll have accounts that have, bro, I've had accounts with like 15 flags on it, but they're low flagged, like small shit, right? There's nothing crazy. It's just like violation of community guidelines. Like they don't even tell you what you violated, right? They just take it down. But I'll get a lot of those accounts will be fine. But then when I get like big flags, especially when it comes into radical, like I had my live permanently banned on one account because I said anyone who's treasonous that's in our government should be taken to the fucking Guantanamo Bay. That's it.
You know why. Yeah, but you know why.
Well, I know why. But then I get the radical whatever, and they banned my live on an account that had 135,000 followers on it. Banned that live permanently. I never even got a suspension, nothing on it. It just went bye-bye.
Yeah, and the jailing of bad politicians has been said on mainstream television more times than you can fathom to count, especially they said 45 jail. How many times?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about 45 Trump?
Mm-hmm. They've said his name 100,000 times and said that they should like send him to jail, that he's a Russian colluder, even though he was tanking the Russian economy. Like, it's so ridiculous.
It's just see, I see a lot of what happened there still is just, division tactics anyway. It was just another, everybody. I made a video earlier. The whole lesser of two evils thing, it's still evil. Like, it's fucking insane to still choose evil over the lesser of two evils, and like it's absolutely fucking ludicrous. Like it's literally the definition of insanity, and I've never understood how people can run out and try to do the same thing every 4 years in hopes that it's going to make a difference.
Well, I don't think we really had a choice. I think there's no lesser of two evils. That was just a misconception that they wanted us to think, but they were both fucking evil people, that were running. Except for like when Ron Paul like got in there, but like everyone else is pretty much just bought and paid for. They're working for someone.
Oh, Ronnie.
Are you guys so I don't know a lot of you guys. So what is your opinion on Trump?
I'm a pirate.
He was actually different from the establishment, or do you think he was part of the establishment?
Well, I'm a pirate, and I think they're all the same.
Yeah, they're one.
Who said that? One at a time. I don't know who said that.
Trump was Trump was a registered Democrat and a New York Democrat until like right before he decided to run for office. He switched to Republican because his whole drain the swamp pro-American thing would garner him more votes from the Republican Party than Democrat.
Would it though? Because aren't Democrats adamant about that as well?
They are fake adamant.
Yeah, not as much as
it's
the
a
Republican
facade.
Party. Yeah, not as much as the
Well,
Republican
I don't think
Party.
Trump could even run as a Democrat because he's not politically correct.
Correct, and that's exactly why he
Also,
didn't do it. That's exactly why he didn't. But everybody's now cloning his tactics, which is really ironic. Everybody criticized him for being like this lunatic, and now the Democrats are literally cloning him, and DeSantis does the hand thing. Like, DeSantis literally copied his mannerisms.
Yep.
That is insane.
He is the Trump protege.
He is. So
like, you guys think Trump is the bad elites? That's what you're thinking?
Well, I mean, he is Hillary's cousin.
This guy, I mean, every single one of them. You want to talk about jailing people in DC? I mean, every single one of them.
I agree.
Walk them all out the
door. So do you
door.
think this whole coming after him with the FBI investigation, all that shit, you think that was
nothing?
That was a show
with that.
This is just so he doesn't.
He is going to run in 2024. Nothing will prevent him. There is nothing.
They're trying to prevent him.
This is my point, though.
A federal judge has already said that no matter what happens, he will not be disbarred from running in 2024.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not necessarily addressing that. So I'm saying, do you think that he is a threat to the establishment, or do you think he is the establishment? That's my main point.
He's just
He
is
is
the
the
threat to the he is part
He's
of
a
the
threat to the
establishment, just a
current
different-
establishment.
Yeah, just a
A
different
different
color.
side of establishment.
Yeah, he's a different color. He's red. He's red.
No,
Sort
he's
of
like a
take-
weird new color.
He
I would
expanded.
say.
He
Yeah.
expanded. He expanded the surveillance state. He funded more military garbage to the police. He
Banned bump stocks.
infringed on the Second Amendment.
There's a lot of stuff. So, okay. There's a couple things I'll touch topics on, right? So I want to start with the bump stock thing. Now,
That was after the Vegas shooting.
that was after the Vegas shooting, right? So a lot of people, you know how the government works, you know, they use these events, you know, don't let a good
To ban
event go to
something.
waste or crisis go to waste, right? So in the realm, like, I disagreed with him with the bump stocks because I don't want anyone infringing on, you know, our Second Amendment, but I can understand like why he didn't ban a fucking gun. He banned an accessory, which is
And
still crossing the
Didn't
line.
have-
An infringement on the Second Amendment is an infringement on the Second Amendment and still
Yeah.
deserves the wood chipper.
They're
100%.
They're not gonna cut your jugular and bleed you out overnight. They're gonna do a
So-
death by 1,000 cuts at a little bit at a time.
Well, this is where I try to remind people too, is like he makes deals, right? This is why I said I can understand where if he does a move that's not full blown left, but it's like this middle ground, right? Because that's what a lot of
calling it
people
a
expect.
compromise. You're talking about compromises.
Exactly.
My
a lot
freedoms
of people expect
are
it.
not up for compromise, man.
I totally
my
That's a valid
understand.
statement.
You don't make.
totally
deals with
understand.
my freedoms.
Totally. Well, is that ban still in place?
Bump stock ban.
Yep.
I
It didn't
think
take away
it's all-
people's bump stocks. Like I have a friend who has bump stocks. You think they're
I
gonna
don't
take
think
them
it was
away?
really
Nope.
anything, but it pleased Democrats. Remember that shit? They were
They can-
happy.
I think it was an ATF edict, and I don't think it was ever enforced.
Yeah.
But it may not ever be enforced. But because it's on the books
They can
and
be
you
used.
have one when they take you in for something else.
Yeah, but did they do anything? The reason why is because I don't think anyone really followed up on it. Did it ever make it to Supreme Court and say that that's unconstitutional?
Great question.
I think it went to a federal court, but I don't think it made its way to SCOTUS yet.
Because if you think of Biden, remember when he was trying to push the vaccine through OSHA
Oh, that piece of shit.
Yeah.
and the Supreme Court shot that down saying it was unconstitutional?
Well, not only that, OSHA came forward and said, we don't have the funding or even the logistics to enforce this. So
We
we're
don't
not-
we don't enforce our actual rules.
Yeah.
You think we can enforce this? We are not even at every job site. OSHA is
All right. What about expanding Patriot Act and offering more military grade equipment to the police and expanding the police state?
Giving the police
How is that?
military
How
equipment
is that a
absurd.
compromise? That hurts us.
I don't know. I'm a middle ground on that because you look at places like Chicago that are heavily underfunded, and you got these Democrats that are preaching to defund the police, right? How does that work out for them?
But that's not funding. Like giving you a military tank vehicle for transportation of troops is
By the
not
way,
funding.
shitty vehicles, by the way.
Like it's just old military vehicles that were given to them.
Yeah.
That's not funding. You know what funding is? Training them is funding.
De-escalation
Training them,
training.
de-escalation training, physical fitness training, martial arts training. Like if
How-
you're a cop, you should get martial arts training.
You can
100%.
be a cop in 2 weeks here in Atlanta. All you got to do is sign up.
How
Well,
to not gun down innocent
But this is the
people.
problem. So, okay. Would you be against the police force using military grade SWAT vehicles to target fucking gang violence in the opioid, I shouldn't say opioid, but the fentanyl crisis that's going on with like the Mexican cartels? Would you be okay with the police using it on them?
I'm not okay with the police having military grade anything at all.
We armed the cartels. Operation Fast and
they
Furious
need
is exactly that.
They need whistles and to be on foot on the beat, and that's about all they deserve.
With a stick.
I'm okay with police having military grade anything, but I'm okay with us. We have to have the military.
What
grade
about
as well.
what about when they use it against you?
They have to.
But
have
that's where the problem is, right?
No radio.
That's what the
no
problem
nothing.
is.
And that's what
So
the
what I'm
Patriot
saying,
Act
like,
did, was expand it to where they could use it against you.
But that's the problem. So when I talk
You
about
wanna
like,
handle the border problem, you use the National Guard, state
Huh?
funded, state military. National Guard to handle the border crisis. That is not for the police.
I mean, are you just strictly allowing just the National Guard to handle those problems, or would you say militias are able to do it? You don't think police force should do it either?
You know what? Ranchers on the border, they want to handle that business. They can handle it on their own.
You're okay with that, right?
Fine.
See, my thing is like if the police, like, it depends on what the police are having. Like LRADs, I don't want LRADs. That's fucking torture. That's messed up. You literally fry people's brains with that shit. A military vehicle, if it's a tank, I have a problem with that. But if it's just an armored vehicle, I don't think that's a major police state.
This is the problem. It's not the armored vehicle. It's the actual body armor too.
And the person inside of it. Police nowadays are garbagely trained.
The problem is the more armor you give a police officer, the more inhumane they become. And this has actually been studied.
That is exactly it. Look at the police outside of the United States. They're not wearing level 4 plates. They have years of training before they're allowed to even set foot on duty.
And in Norway, I think you need 4 years. You need actually a college degree to become a police officer.
Well, I'll agree that we need more training. I just don't think it depends on the expansion. If he expanded supplies, I can see where the issue is. I don't think that's I mean, it starts to raise a red flag. But I would say
he's behind as well.
If he allowed police, if he expanded police to go and target individual citizens for no petty crimes or no crime at all, maybe let's say political stance, like you're a Democrat and he goes, you know what, police fucking arrest all these people, I'd be 100% against that.
Okay,
right? And
but that's what the Patriot Act did, though.
This is where I was going to jump into the Patriot Act and see where. So, what is your research on the Patriot Act that he expanded?
He expanded the Patriot Act in general. Like when it came up for extension, he continued it.
Oh, and it was Kavanaugh who helped write it.
Not just Kavanaugh, but there was
not just he helped write it. He was part of the writers of the Patriot Act.
Why was JFK assassinated in your guys' research and opinion?
Jimmy, want to take
you don't want my opinion on that because I don't think he was actually killed. I think that was a stage show because no videos existed until years down the road. And
okay, but if he was killed, it would
no, because of the Jimmy Carter thing. We've had this conversation. You know how I feel about this.
Well,
I'm crazy.
Okay. Well, you just fucking threw a wrench in my fucking gear here, bro. I don't know if you can roll down the hypothetical. If you can't, then maybe I can just have someone else address it. So
go for it.
Let's say, would you think that his executive order to end the Fed, end the Federal Reserve, and his talks about dismantling the CIA and I think possibly the FBI, even though Bush Sr. was in charge of the CIA at that time and also witnessed to be in Texas at the time of his alleged assassination?
No, he was in Dallas, and he didn't remember where he was.
He extended roving wiretaps, searching business records, and conducting surveillance on lone wolves.
Wait, start with the first one.
Roving wiretaps.
What is that?
Part of his expansion?
What is roving?
Roving wiretap is otherwise known as a delayed notice or sneak and peek. If you expand a wiretap under an emergency order where you initiate surveillance ahead of actually getting an approved warrant through a court, it's deemed legal under the Patriot Act and has been since it was initially rolled through the Patriot Act program in whatever year that was, 2001 or 2002, and has been part of the ongoing renewal. And in theory, it's wholly unconstitutional under the Fourth Amendment, but under Section 213, there's a ton of violations of that against people's right to privacy, in my opinion. And I think it was expanded further under the Freedom Act, but I don't know that to be. I can't say for sure. But
you can also do a reverse FOIA request. So basically, they can get your entire history. They can get all your phone calls, every phone call you've ever made. They can get copies of everything.
Yeah. They'll do that anyway. Surveillance. That's what fucking Snowden came out with.
To that
exactly.
end,
That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm talking about.
to that end, I've worked in telecommunications most of my life. So I've worked in risk management, and I've seen the nasty underhanded side of that, where they are supposed to only cooperate in the event that they have a warrant, but it is almost implied to be discretionary, that it is on an as needed basis. And it was part of Snowden's overall leak. And I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not going to state the companies that I've worked for, but I have firsthand experience in those industries, and I know that it has continued even after Snowden blew the whistle on that.
Oh,
So
100%.
They still do it today.
100%. Jim Bob, so you were saying he continued it, or these are specific things that he expanded within the Patriot Act?
Those are three of the key specific points he extended.
Okay, what was the second one?
Oh, let me pull it back up. Sorry.
So it was wiretapping without pretty much a warrant.
The roving wiretaps, the searches of business records.
Searches of business records.
Correct. That's just the end short of that it says.
This is the main thing I'll say with all of this, is that we have these horrific events that sometimes occur. And then you have this insane intelligence apparatus that exists. And you always have to ask yourself, why are they never catching these events that were obviously going to hit the signal generators in the systems that they have in order to detect events? These people hit those triggers. All of the recent shooters, all of them were hitting all of the triggers. All of them, the FBI knew who the fuck they were. All of them.
Pretty sure that the kid that shot up fucking Florida, wasn't his dad an FBI agent?
I mean,
fucking David Hogg.
David Hogg wasn't the shooter. He was
David Hogg was the
somebody
kid that was
there.
He was the victim. Yeah, he was
And his dad is an FBI agent.
Yeah,
David Hogg is a political tool.
And I will go ahead.
He's
I'm going
a fucking tool.
You know what?
Man.
And I'm going to have to.
Man.
I've got to pull it back real quick, because since we're on that subject and why I have no faith in law enforcement, whether or not they have fucking MRAPs or God knows whatever else that they get on military surplus, the Parkland shooting is proof positive that it doesn't matter who's in control. The police do not have a duty to serve and protect the public.
Uvalde. It's Uvalde.
It's
even more of a point than Parkland.
Yeah.
That sheriff's deputy in Parkland. That sheriff's deputy in Parkland.
Yeah.
That stood coward behind his police cruiser.
Did you see what happened in the hearing?
He got his job back with back pay.
Wait, no, he didn't. He got fired.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He got his job back.
He got his job back with back
Is this
pay.
the guy
Everybody in the town
the donated Lamborghini to him?
Yeah.
No, this is the guy that was washing washing his hands.
No. This is the guy in Parkland, not Uvalde. The sheriff's deputy that cowered outside in the parking lot behind his police cruiser during Parkland.
They don't have the duty, right?
They originally got rid of him.
That went to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm. And that was the case. Yeah. And that went to the Supreme Court. He got his job back with back pay.
Was this sheriff? Was this a sheriff, or was this
actually a sheriff's deputy?
Lakeland County Sheriff's Office, I think.
Yeah.
Was it actually sheriff's? What the fuck?
It was a sheriff's deputy.
Sheriff's deputy. Yeah.
Hey, Jim Bob, can you look up something for me? Can you look up, there's an article. Let me see if you can find it off my search. It's, sheriffs have as much power as the president.
I mean,
and then I want you to look
in their county, in their county,
in their counties.
Yes, in their county, yes. But then I want you to look up. I want you to look up Trump deputized in, I think, Atlanta, Georgia, or some shit. Georgia.
Wait, no, he actually didn't he deputize a lot of people?
No, Trump was deputized by their sheriff.
Which county was that in?
I don't know, George. You just search that, you'll see it. It'll pop up. He's holding a plaque.
No, I'm thinking he selected a lot of judges. He selected like 140 judges, which Obama didn't do. And people were like, "Why the fuck didn't Obama do any of that work?" And Trump did it in like a few months. And that's why Democrats were all pissed, because he selected like 140 judges.
And I don't know if you heard about 2000 Mules, what the creators of 2000 Mules came out with. They said that they tried to make this public and talk to like government agencies about this, and they're not taking up anything with fraud, right? So what they found out is that the sheriffs have more power via the Constitution that even Democrats have been trying to strip. right? And so there's the reason why I pulled up that article is because they're arguing that a sheriff has a fuck ton of power and can arrest federal agents. So
sure, but if like my little podunk ass town, my sheriff's still putting people in jail for a plant.
sure, I mean, yeah, I understand that. Trust me, I had 3 medical marijuana businesses, and I've been targeted by police, but it's all educational. So what 2000 Mules was doing, they were going around and educating all their sheriffs, and this is why they talk to a lot of us constitutionalists and patriots. Say, hey, make friends with your sheriffs. Start talking with them. Start sharing information. Start asking them questions. Like here, I'm in Oregon. This is Democrat, like Antifa's home base is Portland, Oregon, right? Mm-hmm. The sheriffs here, when Kate Brown, our governor, mandated all these masks and all the businesses required them, the sheriff came out and said, we're not fucking doing this. They came out with a public statement in a Democrat-ran state saying, we are not doing that.
I remember this.
Do you know why they're doing that, though? Do you know why they do that above any other law enforcement? Because sheriffs are elected and they're garnering votes.
Yeah, they're voted by the people.
True.
They're trying to maintain their position because they know in the county that they're voted in is mainly Republican or Democrat. They're going to swing whatever way they're going to get the most votes.
I live in Salem, which is Marion County, which is predominantly Democrat. 100%.
I live in the heart of. See, I live in the heart of Trump country down here in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, and the cops out here will shoot me on the side of the road just as quick as they will anybody else.
Oh yeah, Georgia. Yeah.
So pull up. Did you guys find the article of Trump being deputized by the sheriff in Georgia?
I did not. I'm still looking.
But what do you think is the possible result of that to begin with?
I don't know. This is very interesting because there's a lot of talks right now about sheriffs getting together and going through a lot of the corruption that's going on with our federal government.
I mean, but not all sheriffs are clean. I remember, by the way,
100%. No,
the best YouTube videos to watch if you ever want to go that rabbit hole is cops getting arrested by other cops or FBI or, oh my God, those are the best. Because it's like powerful people completely becoming little shriveled.
Sorry, he nominated Monroe County Sheriff nominated Trump to U.S. Marshal. Wait, no, sorry, that's not the article.
U.S. Marshal.
I know Monroe County. That's the next county down for me.
A girl made a video on it because I posted the owners of 2000 Mules, and they were talking about how they're going to all the sheriffs right now. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get all the sheriffs that they know are good and try to get everyone to work together.
But see,
target the government.
But see, like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's that, just throwing this out there, if it was that Monroe County that you made to mention right there, Monroe County, Georgia, is number 3 in the entire country for tax collection because they stay on people about their taxes. They are also the head of they're where the headquarters of the GBI and the Georgia State Patrol training facility is. And everybody in that county, including the sheriff that's been there for multiple decades, does their best to fight things like pot legalization because it takes money out of their pocket that was given to them in excess by people like Patriot Act and expansions of it, and even Obama and even Bush.
That's hard though, because in Georgia it's illegal, right?
I mean, actually, there's a lot of parts of Atlanta and the surrounding cities that it's decriminalized.
Well, that's the problem.
They will drag you.
The people haven't voted it in because we had Measure 91 here that legalized it. We also voted in medical marijuana too.
We've tried 3 times with an over 60% win of the vote, and it got given to us as only medical grade. They do finally have Delta 8, but the cop will still shake you down and take your legal Delta 8 from the gas station.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like old school cops because here in Oregon, I got pulled over with over 100 pounds of processed material because I had a lab. I had an extract facility. Mm-hmm. So I had a pickup truck. I didn't give a shit about smell because I was illegal.
Yeah.
And I had over 100 pounds. There was flour in there, but there's also like processing trim, right? And so I'm driving it. I'm going down a hill, was merging. I speed up to get in front of a car. I got pulled over for speeding. Well, you can smell my truck is fucking reeking. It's freshly cut in bags. Like I didn't care about smell at all. Show them the cards. I had 3 lawyers at the time. And the cop was like, hey, I have probable cause to search your vehicle. I said, I don't consent to any searches. He said, well, you're free to go. I asked him, are you detaining me? And he goes, well, you're free to go, but I'm detaining your vehicle. And he's like, I need you to step out of the car. And I was like, honestly, I'm not getting out of the car because I know I lose my rights when I step out of the vehicle. And so I don't, but that was my point of like, I'm not fucking leaving this car. He fucking opens up my door and rips me out. This is in Oregon. Like Oregon is like weed central, right? This guy ripped me out of my car. I said, all right, fine. Try to get him to speak with my lawyers. My lawyers are on the phone saying, yo, officer, and this is the chief of police. And he retired from Portland. He was under the Drug Enforcement Agency, not retired, but moved down for like an easy cop job down at the coast. And basically I told him, all right, whatever, man. You're not going to speak with my lawyers, whatever. So this dude goes and gets a warrant. It takes him an hour. I'm sitting in the piss-ass rain with 2 other cops watching me. He goes and gets this warrant signed. Takes me, he comes back, goes, hey, you want to sign this? I go, I don't sign shit. And then puts on his gloves. He's like, you ready for me to search? I was like, have fun. He cracks open one bag and was like, arrest him. So I was all right, whatever. So I go to jail. I'm sitting in the holding tank. And this guy comes up and says, hey, I want to thank you for not causing like a problem, a scene, commotion. And I was like, it's all good, man. You're not educated on the laws. I know my laws. I'm in the industry. You live on the beach town. You probably don't get a lot of me coming through your town, or you haven't had the chance to talk to someone like me. Right. So he's like, and I go, look, here's the deal. I'm going to get out of jail tomorrow. I'm going to come grab my personal shit out of my vehicle because you can't take my personal stuff. You can take like stuff related to the case. Guy's like, okay, he kind of shuns me off. Remember, this dude was an asshole when he pulled me over. Gives me his card. I have court in the morning. Basically, I speak with the DA and they ask me, hey, do you have a lawyer? Do you have a court-appointed lawyer? I go, I have lawyers, but I'm the only one that signs the checks for my business. So I need a court-appointed lawyer now to contact people on the outside. And then like my lawyers and my business to get shit transferred or for the bank or whatever to pay my shit. And I go, it'd be easier if I was out of here and I could just take care of the lawyer stuff and I'll come back and I'll handle this all proper. And they're like, well, are you sure like, what do they say? They question me, have a court appointed lawyer. And they're like, there's a fee involved in this. And I was like, what's the fee? And they're like, $20. I'm like, bro, you guys caught me with like $10,000 cash in my truck. I think $20 is anything. So they go, DA, do you mind us releasing him and him coming back to court? They said, no, we release him. So I was like, all right, bet. So I get out. I called the cop, the chief of police. I said, hey, I'm on my way over to pick up my shit. Now, mind, I'm pissed off because this cop is a fucking douchebag and I'm obeying the law and he didn't know the law. So I go there, I'm pissed. And I asked the girl at the front desk, hey, is chief blah, blah, blah here? She goes, yeah, let me get him real quick. Now, mind, I'm pissed because I had to stay in the night in jail, sleep on a metal bed, and I refuse to eat their garbage ass food. So I'm just not in a good mood. Well, I'm looking at the board on the side and there's newspaper clippings. This cop was a coach of their local Special Olympics. You got to remember, I'm in the medical marijuana field. I work with children with seizures, like mental disabilities. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give him a little compassion. This cop comes out. I'm like, hey, I need to grab my personal shit. I need to go though, because I'm catching a bus to 2 hours north. And then one of my employees is coming to pick me up at the city. Right. So this cop changed. Totally different person, bro. He was like, oh, okay. Well, we got to find your keys. We misplaced them. The dude ran and got my keys, came back with my money bags, like your bank zipper bags with money in it. He's like, hey, you probably need this. The investigators wanted to keep this money, but I think you should have it. I'm like, what the fuck happened to you, bro? Like Mr. Asshole over here. So he catered to me. I went to court for 6 months. I won that case. I proved he lied on a warrant for his probable cause. Part of his probable cause is he could smell more than 1.5 pounds of flour. Okay. That was his case. My lawyer had a field day with that. Okay. We want to see your certification that proves that you can smell certain amounts of marijuana. Well, I didn't get trained for that. I just have experience. Well, a little joint can smell up a car. That means nothing. Right. So in this case though, I went down there for 6 months. They seized my truck and everything for 6 months. I went down there every month and I was cool with him. And I educated him every fucking month I went there, saying, hey, look, let me show you how this is done. This is how we do it. I have a lab. Like I deal with a lot. I deal with thousands of pounds. You caught me with 120. Like literally that's nothing. And I'm going to continue driving here because every time I go to court, you guys have 5 dispensaries in the vicinity of this courthouse. I'm bringing marijuana products to make money while I come down here. So in the process of this guy I also made him feel bad because I told him that most of that product was CBD and you're a coach of the Special Olympics and most of that product goes to kids like that you help. Right. I saw this dude's face like drop, man. It was funny as shit. But in the sense of that, I educated him. And that's the point of the people. You have to educate. Now, do you have faith in the city police? I don't. I have faith in sheriffs. I've had many encounters with police. I was in the weed industry. The sheriffs are always the ones that are more civil, more understanding, and that are there to listen and not be those cocky fucking assholes. Does that mean all sheriffs are like that? Definitely not.
The city police only exist as long as the sheriffs allow them. They're the ones who actually get to delegate that.
Well, you've seen that video of the guy that gets pulled over by the city police and the sheriff comes in there and tells him off. He's like, I'll fucking arrest you.
Those are few and far between, though. That's what I mean.
It is few. You're right. But there's also like how do you see people, either we the people or small government or whatever, how do you see them standing up to this big powerful government? Do you even see that? If you do see that, how would you see that taking place?
Well, I'll tell you right now,
law enforcement aren't going to be your friends.
I'll tell you right now that rice farmers and goat herders sure did give the American military a good ass whooping.
Wait,
that because I was there.
You're talking about like in Afghanistan?
Afghanistan and Iraq, yeah.
Yep.
And Vietnam.
And Korea. I mean, Korea was mixed.
Well, you guys know about Burns, Oregon, that cowboy that was related to the whole Bundy thing. Remember the Bundy thing happened? And then they came up to Portland, Oregon and got arrested at the airport, the Bundy family. They were going to Burns, Oregon, where the FBI came in because they were taking over the wildlife land or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. What was
they
that?
shot and killed that cowboy on the side of the road.
They Clive Bundy.
So remember, well, I don't think he was a Bundy.
I think the guy they shot was a Bundy.
Was he?
I think they did. I think he was.
Finnegan.
Finnegan.
Yeah.
What was that event where some guys took over a government property and the government didn't do shit about it, and because everybody was armed? What was that?
Tennessee, right after World War II.
This happened a few years ago.
Are you talking about the Bundy Ranch incident?
Was it the Bundy Ranch incident?
Well, there's the Bundy Ranch in Arizona where I don't even know if it was FBI, whoever they brought in.
When it all
but they had people on horses and shit. The one here in Oregon was during the wintertime, so there's snow everywhere.
Yeah, that happened in Harney County, Oregon. That was the National Wildlife Refuge.
So remember,
Finnecum and Bundy both were there.
Finnecum was the one.
Finnecum was the one that got
I don't think Bundy made it there. I think him and his son were arrested at the Portland airport when they flew in. And then
I can't remember.
The sheriff, so the local sheriff out there, that's who that guy was going to meet. He told the police, I'm not talking to you. I'm driving away and I'm going to go meet with the sheriff. Meet me at the sheriff's office. We'll talk then. That's when they blocked the road. He drove into the snow and he got out and they went and shot and killed him. Right. But my point is, you had sheriffs that were defending people like this. They are out there. Right. So you can't full on say, well, cops aren't going to be with you, because I could show you a trend on Facebook where there are city police officers hanging the black flag.
Until they actually start arresting politicians.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe it.
Until they start arresting the corrupt cops in their own department and dragging politicians.
You mean the 40% that are beating their wives?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sure. I'm not saying just go on and fully trust every police officer.
None of them will be on your side because, one, they have a paycheck. Two, they have a family to take care of.
We're talking about a tipping point, right?
The tipping point will be the people versus them.
And the military joining the people, because the military is not going to turn their back on the people. They made a growth to the Constitution, not to
no, the military. The military will go run and hide, actually, because they don't want to do anything until America falls.
They won't want to defend any of the sides. They
That
don't wanna
is
fight.
that
They're not
is
gonna shoot at
actually
people.
that is what is like if anything happened to this country right now, the military's job inside this country will not be to defend anything. They will leave this country, go offshore. This is textbook military procedure to go offshore because it is easier to retake than defend.
They will let
If
they will let
anything
us eat
happens,
ourselves.
It will be law enforcement against the people. And a very small percentage will leave their paychecks to help the people.
I mean, if things is destabilized to such a point, there is no paycheck.
Yeah.
But they're still out
You
there.
still have that
They're still out there
mentality that
dragging me
has
out of
been
my car
ingrained in
for
them.
a
You still have
turn
that
signal.
mentality of law and order that is in their mind. They will try to maintain order.
Well, I do believe in the better nature of our crazy demons. But I can foresee that certain areas of the United States, in case of such a situation, are not going to be in a good situation. This is not going to be nationwide good if such a drastic series of events were to happen. Not the entire country would.
War in the streets is not a good thing.
No.
And
why some people are asking for it is ridiculous. Now the left is like constantly saying civil war, and there was why you keep saying that, bro? Why you keep saying that?
Yeah, war in the streets is not a good thing, man. I mean, and that's why everybody that has seen it doesn't want to see it. You know?
Well, that's what they want too.
Sure, I will. Yeah, I won't disagree.
Think
with
about it. Think about it. They brought COVID out, right? They brought COVID out and they try to strip your rights away.
The summer of love.
They brought COVID to strip your rights, right? There's other aspects of it, but a big part of it is stripping your rights, right? Taking rights and getting full control. Well, people fought back, especially when they told us that the vaccine was our gateway back to normalcy, right? That's what they kept telling us. The vaccine is what's going to get us back to normalcy. Well, the vaccine came out. So a lot of red states were like, what the fuck are we doing then? Why are we closed right now? Like, we shouldn't be doing that. So you saw a lot of Republican states saying, no, fuck that. Some of them didn't even close down. Right?
I never stopped. My life never changed.
Oh, mine didn't either.
Mine didn't either.
I mean, we had the viral videos of what's that fucking grocery store? Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
You guys ever see those videos all over TikTok?
Yeah, I remember those.
That's literally 5 minutes down the street from me.
Okay. All right.
So that's the only place. I just said, fuck you guys. You're not getting my money then. I just went to places I didn't say anything. But the point I see, this is their last default, that if elites had, so there's good and evil. I'm not trying to make it religious, but there's good people versus evil people within our government. And they're battling right now. There's good versus evil within our police departments. And there's good versus evil within our civilization, right? As in society. Okay. There's battles going on. There's good people that are fighting back towards tyranny or whatever in all aspects.
In the US government anymore is any good anymore at this point in the federal level? Is there anything left?
I couldn't say that because you say no one's good.
I'm speaking about the
you are inherently bad.
I'm talking about the administrative state, what people define as the deep state or the State Department or different parts of what rules the federal system. Those people are completely all corrupt.
Okay, so what about these FBI? What about these FBI whistleblowers that just came out? Are those bad people?
No, whistleblowers are generally not bad people. Some might be actually
you might have a few
form of attack against one agency against
another. So you do know that they just opened an investigation into the FBI as well, right?
I am so happy that they're
investigating themselves.
And that's
no, it's not the FBI. It's the guy. It's that old dude. And I posted a video on it. He is like, now, due to the whistleblowers that came to me, I am now opening that investigation into.
How do they do it? Does the sheriffs do it? Do the sheriffs in the region investigate the FBI then? And then they will actually have some form of true, unbiased reaction towards the corrupt actions in the state of the event? Because I don't know what the
choose to take a job as a politician. Well,
the whole point
to get elected to go to DC, you are inherently bad because you are choosing to take a job where you rule over somebody. Just like being a police officer, if you fail to act on the bad apples, you are inherently a bad person for overlooking that.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, I would have to take that in individual cases because I don't know if there are whistleblowers coming out. Like, do we see every whistleblower? Do we see everyone that files a complaint? Do we see every little thing that takes place within a police department, within the government?
Actually, there were thousands of whistleblowers in the Pentagon. You've never heard about them.
You know why? You know why?
They hide that
Who is in
information as
control
quick
of the
as they can.
whistleblower organization? Oh, the same people who are doing all the corrupt shit. They created an organization so they could know who is whistleblowing on them and whack them. That's why a lot of these whistleblowers can't go to the government organization. They have to leak it to, WikiLeaks or whatever, whoever the fuck, because they would get whacked. They get killed. They get ostracized and be deemed a fucking crazy person. Right? That's a way of control. These guys are smart. They're not stupid. And that's why I think when we preach, like, people wonder, like, how are we gonna fight back? Well, we just need to fucking go after them, or we need to, war is gonna happen, or civil war. That's what they want, because COVID was the test of, hey, can we strip their rights away willingly with deception? Okay, well, they fought back. So what is their last resort? Their last resort is to cause mayhem, and they're not afraid to do it. They have false flags. That way they can install something like, I don't know, martial law, where they can just take your rights away, where you don't have a say to it.
They did
Right? They did this in New Orleans.
A lot of people use this word martial law like it's something to be scared of.
What do you mean?
There's different levels of it, and we're already under most of it.
There is no possible way on this planet that the federal government could institute martial law with any practicality. With any successful practicality. The logistics behind putting
there's not enough officers to keep everybody in check.
There is not. They would have to activate every single National Guardsman, reserve, federal soldier, federal troop, and even pull the retirees.
They would be short millions.
I'm not. They
well, no,
they can
you would
pull
just
my
basically
retired
take
ass
hubs.
all they want. They can pull my retired ass all they want. I ain't going, man.
They would have selective. Well, you would know if like shit hit the fan. These guys already have a plan of where they would first start off with, right? For defending and controlling certain zones. So they have zones. What is that green zone bullshit? Remember the whole fucking map plan they have?
Iraq is going to shit. You mentioned to green zone. Just look up later Iraq. It's going into hell in a handbasket. I think Biden's a professional at destabilizing a government.
Martial law
just going all the way.
Not happen.
Yeah, well,
asymmetric warfare is a bitch.
Hmm?
Fighting an insurgency on home turf is a bitch.
Well, yeah, but that's why you see this contracts at the UN too.
Oh,
UN
yeah, you saw that
stuff. Suck my dick, man.
Yeah, like the UN's going to come into the United States.
UN troops, which are mainly made up of Pakistani reservists.
That's an invasion, then. We would just declare it.
I mean, sure, but they bought out our politicians already.
True.
UN can suck my dick, man. Those blue helmets make.
Well, I don't mean necessarily. Like, I'm just saying they have contracts with foreign nations. Have you guys ever seen that police officer? I'm not saying it's a real case, but he said, the post office puts these different colored dots in your mailbox for when foreign troops come in under martial law. They know who to kill, who to capture, kill on sight. Not saying it's accurate, but it gives you a possibility of what could be a plan. How would they tackle something like that?
Do you know what the logistical, logistically, what it would take for them to ship any type of soldier and equipment to the United States with any effectiveness?
I mean, sure, it'd be a massive operation, but I'm just saying, you don't think they're capable of doing it, nor would they?
Not at all. There'd be no way.
No aspect of it.
No.
So if we bust out in civil war, the government's going to just nuke us or just say, fuck it, we'll just let them kill themselves?
Yep. That's not going to nuke us.
They wouldn't bring in troops or anything?
Nope. They're going to
what they did in Portland when they were burning down the ICE department and they brought in U.S. Marshals to come in and defend it.
That was U.S. Marshals.
I mean,
that's not the U.S. military.
I saw that.
I thought they were U.S. Marshals.
They were U.S. Marshals. They weren't.
Marshals is not the military.
Yeah,
Marshals is not the military.
Oh well, I mean, I'm a police force of any sort. It doesn't matter if it's domestic or foreign.
They can bring in. They can bring in the police force. They can bring in police, federal forces. But
they're gonna use your local cops before they use anything else.
Yeah, but if that were the case, but think about this: if that were the case, that local police would not stand up for that. There's a lot of police that would not do that. I'll tell you an example. Go look up Portland and the whole crowd riot control officers. They all resigned in 2021.
They resigned
After beating people
They
during
resigned from the riot group. They did not resign from the police department.
Yes, they resigned. Well, yeah, they didn't want any part to do with maintaining riots. So who was up there protecting them?
They give a shit about their paycheck, not about.
Well, 100%. But we're talking about the brink of civil war, not a protest, too. I'm just telling you what people will do just in the case of, one instance.
So I'll ask you with relation to your knowledge of Oregon and Portland, whatever you might know, how destabilized do you see Portland right now? Because I'm only hearing really bad shit.
I mean, it's not necessarily destabilized. This is when the ICE thing was going on, right? So our mayor of Portland went down in support of people protesting the ICE building, which was crazy because they were literally trying to light it on fire, spray paint it, rip all the fences down. That's why they brought in the U.S. Marshals or whoever the fuck they brought in, right? Which is funny because that mayor ended up getting maced by the police. But he also saw how bad it was in the protest. So he even spoke out against it after the fact. Right. So Portland is not necessarily destabilized in the sense of like fucking craziness. I mean, there's a lot of homeless. It's horrible, but you do have Antifa. Antifa's kind of died down a little bit.
I mean, Antifa is maybe it's probably died down when they realized, wait, we're the fascist.
No, I mean,
a few of them started realizing, wait. I'm the bad
I think
guy?
they got too much attention. Antifa swarmed my truck here in Salem.
Oh shit.
My fucking lifted 2017 Toyota Tundra Platinum. They fucking surrounded that shit.
What did they do? What were they doing around?
I just went to the first it's not a Trump rally, but people that supported Trump when it first happened. I saw it on Facebook and I was like, fuck it. I'll drive down there. I didn't even vote for Trump the first time. I didn't like him. I sat back because I was like, I think you're all corrupt. I sat back and I wanted to see some action. I want to see what things caught my eyes, right? There's a few things. But anyway, I went down to this rally because I wanted to hear people talking. So I go up to the Capitol, and this is something a lot of people don't know. January 6th, you do understand here in Salem, Oregon, the bullshit with police started here in Salem, Oregon. They got pepper sprayed, shot with rubber bullets because the government locked the citizens out of the public building that like a week before. So all these videos are going viral about these people are locked out trying to get in.
Yeah, you guys took over the building, didn't you?
No, they never got it. Well, they broke the fuck out of the windows. They never got in.
Oh,
but this is what started a lot of the tension with the police before January 6th. It was literally like a week before. They pulled an emergency meeting and they locked everybody out. Right? So anyway, I went there and I wanted to see people speak or just hear what they had to say. And I get there and I'm like, where the fuck are the speakers? I see a lot of people holding flags and don't tread on me, all this shit, right? I'm like, where the fuck are the speakers? All I see up top of the stairs is a line of Antifa members holding banners. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go up there and I look behind them and there's all these people with booths. And they're just standing there. A lot of older people, like elderly. There's some elderly speakers, but there's a lot of patriots, And so I talked to them. I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing here blocking you guys? I'm like, they just do this all the time. And so I try to speak with the Antifa members. They don't speak to me. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I go down there and I'm basically just talking. I had dreads at the time down to my ass, right? So I'm sitting there talking and I'm speaking to the other patriots and there's like shit happened. So like a brawl took place between Antifa and the patriots, like literally at the Capitol steps. Cops came and dispersed it, arrested 2 Antifa members. But one of the Antifa members threw a fake grenade. They were throwing piss and shit and balloons, but they threw a fake grenade. So they had to bring in the bomb squad. So they dispersed everybody. So the patriots walked down the street. The Antifa follows them. Then there's a fucking massive brawl in an intersection, right? So I'm witnessing this. In the meantime, I'm like, I had these interviews with people, right? At the end of it, things kind of died down. People kind of collected in front of the Capitol. And I had the news interviewed me. The news, I actually got an Antifa member. He wasn't covering his face, but he's in all black. But I got him and we have Proud Boys here, but he wasn't a Proud Boy. He's friends with the Proud Boy. He had his own media company up in Washington. I forgot what his name was. I got these 2 guys to talk, Antifa and a Patriot, right? And the media came up as like, hey, do you guys mind if we record? After they interviewed me, right? I ended up going and speaking with these guys. I was like, hey, let's debate this out real quick at the Capitol. And then the media that interviewed me came up as like, do you mind if we record this? We're like, no, it's fine. They never showed this shit though,
Yeah.
because it was a good conversation. But one of the guys went to the media dude and said, "Hey, we got to get out of here. Someone slashed our fucking tires at Safeway."
Oh shit.
So they all parked at Safeway right down the street because there's really no parking. So they ended up leaving. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to get in my truck. I'm going to drive by Safeway. I'm going to check it out. Well, there's a car wreck at the intersection. There's a group of Antifa members. And I saw Patriots across the street in Safeway. And I pull in and there's a cop that's undercover. But you could tell they're obviously cops, right? I park in this gravel parking lot across the street. And I'm sitting there. I pull out my phone because at this time I was streaming on Facebook, right? So I was posting my content on there. So I'm recording, and these Antifa groups, they look at me and they go, "Hey, that's to do with the dreads. Get them." And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't do shit. So I ended up trying to get out of there. Well, the back route was blocked off. So I had to turn around and drive literally right towards them. I didn't run anyone over. I get up and they're trying to tell me I can't drive this way. They surround my truck. There's like 20 of them. I told them, I was like, "Do not fuck with my truck." Luckily, it wasn't that long, but like 20 cops, I'd say 10 cops on bicycles came up and like dispersed it. Right. So after that, I came home and wrote a big old thing on Facebook explaining the whole situation and what I went through. I also called Antifa like a bunch of bitches. Right. Well, all of a sudden I had Antifa hunting me down on Facebook, but it was like this green mask Antifa group out of Portland. They were famous for their green masks. It's like a whole group of them. I think these are like the ones that like go and target people because they have different little subsections within the group. So I saw firsthand what that Antifa does here, just in the local areas here in Salem and the capital. Portland's way worse, like way worse in the case of protests, but we haven't had any massively. Now midterms are coming up, so I'd imagine you're going to start seeing Antifa pop up again because they're used for that. So it's annoying because they're kids. But they do have organization. They do have.
They are organized. Like they kept saying on television, they're not organized. They're not organized. I'm like, you can look up the chapters, dude. Like it's not rocket science. It's journalism 101. Just literally go on any search engine and write them up, and in a couple of minutes you'll find the chapters. It's not that complicated. Just look them up on Facebook. They're all over Facebook.
Give me a sec. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna mute real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, you guys, I'm gonna start this as the point though to start going around the table to go ahead and get ready to wrap up and get our final thoughts because we have run about our normal time for the evening. Of course, I do want to thank Neptune and Bandit for being able to make this episode this evening. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start over there with Neptune. Neptune, you got any last words, final thoughts for the evening?
No, I'm good, man.
Bandit, what you got for me, buddy? Come on, you got to have something good.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm just good to be here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Luis, you got anything to go on before we get ready to wrap this up for the evening? And I tell everybody where they can find Mr. Rick.
I would say simply that he pointed out a very important topic about sheriffs, and people should educate themselves about their local sheriff's departments.
Sure.
Because it's something that you should know about more.
Sure.
And it's a highlighted point that I didn't think about too much, but it is a valid point of sheriffs might be a route to clean up a few places. A few places at least can get cleaned up, and that's progress moving forward.
I can't disagree with that.
I mean, it's a 50-50 split, right? You're either going to have a good sheriff or a bad sheriff. Just ask them some questions. Hey, if gun grabs or whatever, what is your opinion on gun grabs? What's your opinion on another lockdown? Are you guys going to support that?
I didn't support it to begin with.
And there's a lot of powerful people that forget, I should speak to my sheriffs. I have friends who pay essentially are supporters of the cops at the sheriff's department for a reason. And I have heard of some hilarious stories where some of them did funny things because they supported the sheriffs. Nothing happened to them. They were immune to anything.
Well, I have a buddy that's a sheriff, right? He's actually my best friend. He went into the Marines and then came out. Now he's a sheriff in Marion County where I live. And like I had a conversation with his wife. I haven't spoken with him for a couple of years, but his wife's friends with my sister. And I was kind of talking about the sheriffs, and he's like, yeah, he's just a little upset because they're underfunded. They're understaffed and underfunded right now. And he's like, they're just trying to keep a good relation with the community because right now, like there's a lot of fucking crime and a lot of shit. They're trying to tackle all the crime, but they're trying to make sure that people aren't fucking freaking out because it's a stressful time. And he's like, dude, we're just stressed out, wore out. It's just a lot of drama, a lot of shit that's going on. And so that's where, like, if shit's going to happen, this is what I would challenge every single one of you guys to do, is think of how you would see change. How would you see it? Because the only two things I'm hearing is that we're fucked. We have no option, right? I hear that from people. I have no faith in humanity. We're fucked. We're probably going to die. They're going to spray us, whatever the fuck, right? Whatever nonsense. And then think of how you would see it change, but pick a route in your mind that has the least amount of suffering. We know the most amount of suffering. We have civil war. That's it. Just go to battle and there's no organization. We don't have fucking radios where we're talking to each other. But then really try to figure out how could we make a change and stand up to the powers that be in the least dramatic way, meaning like not a lot of people die and starve, right? That's why I say, like, sheriffs, find local, there's good local PD. Not everyone's fucking good. There's a lot of corrupt shit going on. I've been at the hands of it. I've won it in court cases. But I've also met a lot of good cops that don't support that's going on. Like, they don't support this shit. They don't support corruptness, but there's not much they can do. Because they can get their pensions. Like, yeah, you could say, well, they are worried about their paycheck. Yeah, their whole fucking livelihood could be fucking destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. Their pensions could be stripped from them if they stand up. That's why it's very careful. Like, these whistleblowers know that they also have a possibility of getting fucking killed. So how are they going to whistleblow then? Everything's in secret right now. We don't see everything that goes behind the lines, but no, there are good people fighting bad. It may seem like we're outnumbered, but in hindsight, we outnumber them like fucking 1,000,000 to 1. You know what I mean?
For sure. Where I of course know that I can find you on TikTok and Instagram. Do you have any other links you're going to want me to share this evening that you want to put out there to plug where people can come back and find you that have been listening to the show tonight?
I mean, I'm everywhere. I have a social media on everywhere. It's hard to balance. I have 2 kids, so it's hard to balance, like, you know, keeping up with all the social medias. But if you go to my TikTok, if you just search T-Rick Talks, search users, you're going to find like 10 accounts that are mine. In my bio, I have a Beacons link that has all my social medias. I mean, it's literally everything. I'm on True Social. I'm on Rumble. I'm on everywhere, you know, so the kids are already screaming.
No.
So, yeah.
I totally understand that. I got a lot of that same going on here too. So, but I really do appreciate you coming on.
Had dinner to friends.
Understand. I do appreciate you coming on this evening and joining us tonight, and, you know, making some people think with some interesting points. And I hope we've made you think a little bit too. That's, you know, and I like having these conversations like that to show people we can have these conversations without getting ridiculous like people do on Facebook and such. And before I wrap it up for the evening, I always got a good little joke that I got to go with something. So tonight's joke is why doesn't a pirate take a shower before he walks the plank? Because he'll just wash up on shore later. Good night, everybody.